The world #1 team and the future World Cup quarter-finalists, only joking, have announced their team for this first round of the Six Nations 2023. It's all getting very real now, isn't it? More videos coming across this weekend in the build-up to the weekend and right throughout the Six Nations. So please do hit subscribe. I'm Tim, this is Egg Chasers. And yeah, let's have a look at that Ireland 23 for Wales. And the big news, only one Tadgh is in the team. Obviously, the quota of Tadghs has gone down. Maybe it's inflation or something, but no Tadgh Furlong, which is a big blow for Ireland. He's been a rock, the anchor of their scrum, doing some incredible work around the park. At times, the best tight head on earth, and he's definitely in the mix there. He's not there for Wales. He has been injured. He has been coming back. Obviously, hasn't made it. Finlay Bealham wears the #3 shirt. Now, he has been playing, as well as having, you know, the most incredible cornrows in rugby, he has been playing some outstanding rugby, and he has got a big challenge. Wales will be feeling much more optimistic purely because Tadgh Furlong isn't there. I would say that when you look at the prop options, Wales and Ireland both suffer this. There is a drop-off from first choice to second choice and down the rankings. There's a smaller drop-off from Tadgh Furlong to Finlay Bealham than from Andrew Porter to the people backing him up. And on that front, Dave Kilcoyne might feel quite aggrieved that he's not in the match day 23. But the front row is Andrew Porter, Dan Sheehan, both outstanding. Finlay Bealham, big day for him. In the second row, Tadgh Byrne and James Ryan, no surprises there. In the back row, again, as expected, Peter O'Mahony. Ryan Baird was thought maybe to be pushing for that #6 jersey, but they've gone with the old warhorse. Josh van der Fleer and Caelan Doris. Caelan Doris, one of my favourite players in world rugby right now. I think this just shows, looking at the pack, it demonstrates where Ireland are at. Yes, they have, much like in the back line, if Johnny Sexton isn't there, all of a sudden you start having question marks. Tadgh Furlong not there, you start having little question marks. However, it feels very settled. And that's got to be kind of give you confidence and be quite comforting if you're an Ireland fan. And I'm sure for the players, they're not so confident that they ever get complacent, because there are players knocking on the door and ready to pounce and grab your shirt if you do not perform. In the backs, again, no real surprises there. The big story there is Stuart McCloskey. Big Stuart McCloskey getting a run out of 12. Everyone was really delighted for him in the autumn when he managed to get the start after Robbie Henshaw being injured. And then Stuart McCloskey had to go off really early, and we thought that might be the end of it. He came back in the autumn. He's back now, and he's wearing the 12 shirt ahead of Bundy Aki and Jamie Osborne. And I'm really pleased for Stuart McCloskey. He's been outstanding for Ulster. He's much more than just a big man, but he is a big man. There's no getting around that. He can give you go forward when you need it, and in international rugby, that is important. But he's much more than that. He can distribute, and he's got a lot more skills as well. So I think he's going to slot in perfectly. And that's what's great about Ireland. When they do bring guys in that haven't had as many caps in certain combinations, these players are able to come in. We saw it with Ross Byrne in the autumn. You see players come in, and because everything else around them is very settled, it feels all right. So other than Stuart McCloskey, it's exactly as you would expect. Jamison Gibson-Park, Johnny Sexton, captain, James Lowe and Matt Hansen on the wings, Hugo Keenan at fullback, and I would say, even along with Johnny Sexton and Caelan Doris, Ireland's best player, maybe most important player, Gary Ringrose. And don't be surprised if Gary Ringrose becomes Gary Wingrose during the match, because interesting selection on the bench where you can see Bundy Aki's name. Meaning, potentially, Jordan Lama could have been a contender there, Jimmy O'Brien as well. But they've gone with Bundy Aki, who I think is a great impact player off the bench. I really like Bundy Aki, just wrecking ball for the last 20 minutes when everyone's getting tired. He's great at that. And that's maybe where he's going to be used best for Ireland, because he's not quite the force he was a couple of years back. But Bundy Aki off the bench, great impact. But that does maybe, you could argue, leave them a little exposed if a winger or a fullback goes down, which is why Gary Ringrose becomes so important, because he can be... Gary Ringrose can play in that position and still be the best player on the park. As you can see, Rob Herring gets the nod as the backup hooker. Cian Healy. Now, just one thing. Did I imagine Cian Healy played some rugby at tight head prop recently? Is that something they were just trying to develop, just to build up the depth? Tom O'Toole comes in, another player from Ulster who's going to have an opportunity that he might not have been banking on, but he can try and take it. Ian Henderson. I wondered if there was a chance, maybe against Wales away, of going Hendo in the second row and putting Tadgh Byrne on the blindside flank just to make it a bit bigger. But you've always got that option off the bench. Jack Conan, a great player. And then, there you go. Conor Murray, Ross Byrne. Bundy Aki. I like the look of it. I like how settled Ireland feel. I think they're going to be confident. Tadgh Byrne, though. Tadgh Furlong, I should say. Big loss. How does that change things when we look at a combined 15? When you put that together with the 15 that Wales have put up, this is my combined selection. If you had access to all, what are we talking, 46 players on the park. It's a tough one. I might actually change that from Thomas Francis back to Finlay Bealham, because Finlay Bealham has been playing really well. So that's a toss of a coin. And same goes with James Ryan and Adam Beard. Toss of a coin. So generally, it's an all-Ireland pack with maybe a Welshman or two sneaking in. And I think that's where the game is going to be won. Wales will be tough to beat under Warren Gatland. Gatland teams always are. Defence first. And I expect no different. If you remember the game, I can't remember when it was. Was it like 2016, 2017 when Wales managed to hold Ireland out for about 15 minutes on the goal line? I was at the Millennium Stadium, as it was then, on that day, and it was one of the most amazing atmospheres I've ever witnessed. And that was just sheer dogged determination, which is what Wales are going to bring. But I think Ireland will have too much for them up front. Out the back, a lot of controversy when I did a post earlier in the week when the Welsh team got announced. Lots of Ireland fans didn't like that I picked Dan Biggar above Johnny Sexton. I may be biased. I love Dan Biggar. I've met him a bunch of times and he's just one of the nicest human beings, as well as an incredible rugby player. I love him. Again, Johnny Sexton is world class. So's Dan Biggar. I've just edged him. And Josh Adams on the wing. So again, just a couple of Welshmen in the forwards. Maybe. A couple of Welshmen in the backs. Maybe. And then the bench dominated by Ireland again. The game isn't won on paper though. There's going to be a lot of attitude and effort involved. And I think people are expecting Ireland to win. I think Ireland will win. But I think it'll be closer than people think. And I would not be surprised to see Wales very much in with a shout of winning it with a few minutes to go. And if that is the case, no reason why they couldn't pull it off. I'm really looking forward to this one. What a game in store to get the Six Nations 2023 underway. Please leave your comments on what you think about this, which that in particular, Dan Biggar, I know is going to rile some Irish fans who love Johnny Sexton. He's a great player, but it'd be boring if we all thought the same, right? Leave your comments. Please hit subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.